I'm getting on my soapbox again.
So you've been to the supermarket.
No, well, yeah, I suppose. This is before I went to the supermarket, but it's not even Halloween yet, and we're already getting Christmas adverts.
Don't start.
We're getting
Christmas adverts.
Christmas adverts, yes. Buy these things now in advance for Christmas. Beat the rush. And they're selling Christmas stuff at the supermarket as well.
What kind of Christmas? Do you mean like crackers or
Christmas books and wrapping paper and all that sort of stuff?
I hate Christmas.
But like, it's still September.
It's becoming like the Steam Summer Sale, where it's going to happen earlier and earlier each year until it's always Christmas.
Always Christmas.
Yeah, I hate Christmas so much.
Genuine anger there. Genuine.
It is, because you're blackmailed into spending vast amounts of money because everything goes up in price.
Just tell everybody, look, I'm a dick. I don't buy things. I'm a dick. Leave me alone.
Well, for many years now, I've always refused to do Christmas cards. I don't see the point, because Christmas cards, they get looked at for about 10 seconds and then they just get thrown out.
That's true. What you should do is you should just recycle cards that people have given you throughout the year for various other things.
I used to do that prior to not doing it at all.
It's a birthday card that somebody's given to you saying, like, you know, happy birthday, here you go, and then you just put it in another envelope and give it back to someone different.
I thought you meant like a happy birthday card where you cross out birthday and scribble Christmas. No,
don't go to that effort. Just give the card to somebody else. Don't score anything out.
I was going to say that there's no sentiment behind giving a Christmas card, but there is. It's, I feel obligated to do this. Please take it off me. I don't want to feel guilty.
Pretty much. I'm not really much of a card person, but I like to take advantage of...
you say that, but you got me a Hello Kitty card for my birthday.
I like to take advantage of giving people ridiculous cards.
I'm glad that you think that was ridiculous. I certainly don't have a collection of Hello Kitty memorabilia.
No, not at all.
No,
it's a standing thing in our family where, like, I buy my brother birthday cards that say, like, get well soon, or so it's a girl, or, you know, commiserations.
That would be a perfect excuse to use for covering more than one occasion. So say, I'm wacky, I give people wacky birthday cards. Give them Christmas cards and then count it for both.
Or just give them Christmas cards all year round.
Yeah, that's what it's going to come to. Did you buy any Christmas stuff?
Fuck no.
Maybe it's because they know Halloween is dead that we don't bother. I'm surprised they waste the shelf space, because Halloween, I mean, in America, apparently it's still a fairly big holiday, but here it just isn't. Like, for quite a few years in a row now, never had one trick-or-treater. Oh, I think we've spoken about this before, though, haven't we? It's because I always go and answer the door covered in blood. I'm sure we've spoken about this last year, in fact.
Naked.
Well, sometimes naked. Not always.
Naked and covered in
blood. In fact, I know exactly when we last spoke of this. It was during the Halloween podcast last year.
We'll have a Halloween podcast this year as well. It'll be
or maybe we should follow the trend and just forget about it and do Christmas.
Yeah, we just do the Christmas.
Do Christmas in October.
Stay tuned for the Christmas podcast in 4 weeks' time.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the Brain Go Hurty Gaming Podcast. This is episode 36. We're managing to keep track of the counting now.
Because I write it down.
It's not Christmas. It's not Halloween yet. Just prepare for all sorts of random asides on all sorts of random shit.
Yes.
I'm Blighty.
No, you're not.
Slick. Nope. Okay. So let's just get cracking straight into it, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Like, just straight to the point. Straight to the point this time. No fanning about. None of this nonsense. No airy-fairy.
Exactly. We don't have time to waste. It's almost Christmas.
Quick, get out there. Buy some stuff.
Just buy lots of things. Online, so that you show retail a bit more. I'm buying you nothing.
Again.
I'm pretty sure I bought you games on Steam last year. For Christmas.
Quite possibly. In fact, I think you bought me something on Boxing Day.
Did I not buy you Shogun for Christmas?
No, I got that myself, remember? You bought me...
Can't have been that memorable if you can't remember.
It was Brink, and it was crap.
Oh, it wasn't crap.
It was crap.
It was worth the 2 or 3 quid we paid for it, or I paid for it, rather.
For 2 or 3 drunken hours over Christmas, yeah. So we normally start these things off with what we've been playing for the last 2 weeks, so let's do that.
Okay, who's going first?
You can.
Who's on first?
You.
No, who's on second?
Me.
That's the man's name.
What?
Oh, I keep forgetting you've never seen that Albert and Costello, whoever, the sketch.
Anyway.
Yeah. I keep meaning to show you it because I can't believe you've never seen such a famous sketch. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Lots of famous things I've not seen. I've not seen Citizen Kane.
Rosebud.
But I do have a cup of tea in a Jaws mug. Not Jaws the shark, Jaws from the Bond films.
I was just going to say, you don't mean the shark, do you? No. Okay. Let's get quick ones out of the way. Fall of Cybertron, it was a double XP weekend, so I splurged on the multiplayer to get out of the way since certain other people are too poor to buy it, and I will be playing it alone, so I thought double XP, just get out of the way.
Yeah, good idea.
Plus, I'm not enjoying this multiplayer as much as the other one for reasons I spoke about last.
I think that was the linchpin in me not putting any of my hard-earned cash towards it, was that it just wasn't as fun. It just wasn't.
Yeah, plus the hooring the multiplayer packs gets to me.
Yeah.
Annoys me. Although what annoys me more is that pretty much everybody did buy the bloody Dinobots one. Because after it was released, every match was filled with every bloody person using those pay-for skins. So
on a random aside similar to that is that Blizzard released The Mists of Pandaria.
There was Pandaria, same
fucking thing.
Tomato.
And within like 5 minutes of it launching, the servers are just full of pandas, just all in the starting zones for the pandas. Just screens full of pandas.
That sounds like I was going to make a racist joke there. Who hunts pandas?
Everyone.
Vietnamese. I don't know if that's true, but let's just go with that. They just rubbed their hands together and thought they'd found the promised land. Those Vietnamese and their panda eating ways. Don't even know if pandas are in Vietnam.
That's some good eating.
During the Vietnam War, it's just many innocent pandas were caught in the crossfire.
I can just see them like crawling around on their bellies, like with a gun. Anyway.
Yeah.
After the panda guerrilla warfare.
What else is on my list? I asked myself there. I did what you did. God damn.
Yes, you do. It's the trap that falls upon the person who starts first. I've noticed that. I see.
Right, okay.
That's why I make you do it.
I've been playing Guild Wars 2. Not as much since we moved on to other stuff because I haven't had time. Still just chugging along. I think I'm about level 65-ish. So 80 is the max.
Right, okay.
And the only little aside I had to that was they released player statistics about who played what class the most and that kind of thing.
Mm.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have percentages written on it. It's just literally graphs. So I think they're being a bit coy about total player numbers. But if anyone's interested, it's about 3/4 of players are guys, a quarter are girls.
Oh, actually guys, or playing as guys?
Well, yeah, the sex they've registered.
Right.
For their account.
I've registered my sex.
Indeed. I think that symbol means the most popular craft is mining, or possibly armor smithing. I'm not sure what that symbol means.
Mining for fish.
I think it might be weapon crafting. Anyway, most popular class is the Paladin type 1, for those who... I think it's called Guardian. I've never really played much of one yet. With Hunter and Elementalist and Thief being the ones behind it. The least played is Mesmer, and I think... and Alchemist, actually. I think
you tried Mesmer at first, didn't you?
I did, and the reason I didn't stick with it, even though I quite liked it, is because of how feminine the attacks look, even if you're playing the guy. It's all...
You didn't want to be like camping it up in Guild Wars.
Exactly, it's all purples and pinks and butterflies, and although it's quite a nice class, I don't want to be having a fighting style like that. I want to be a huge sword or pistols or bows and arrows.
You don't want to dance around in a cloud of butterflies.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what their teleports and things are. You just disappear in clouds of butterflies.
Sounds fun.
No. Still haven't tried the PvP of it either.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I haven't had time. Because we've been playing things.
What do you mean you haven't found time? You can just go and do it any time, can you not?
I mean, we've been playing...
Yes, you
I'll
can.
let you talk about more because these are things we've both played. I've got one last thing you have not played,
Okay.
which you know I've been playing, actually, but you've probably forgotten. You have, haven't you?
Yeah.
Steam game.
Oh, Faster Than Light.
Faster Than Light, yes. And it's a successful Kickstarter game, which is why I thought it would be interesting to bring it up, other than the fact I'm playing it. Because this is my first game I've played that was done through a Kickstarter.
And you didn't contribute towards this Kickstarter at all?
No, I heard about the game on Kotaku possibly while it was in development looking for funding. And I remember looking at it and thinking, that's basically like Star Trek, like you're running your own starship. I think I'd really enjoy that because I used to like the Bridge Commander games.
Yeah.
But in that original thing, they never mentioned the name, or if they did, they hid it too well, because I remember thinking, what am I supposed to search for? I want to know more about this game, and then I just kind of forgot about it.
And then it just, boom.
And then they happened to bring it up again, or some site did, and then I suddenly remembered it, and I went looking. It was on Steam. It's reasonably priced. I think it was about $5 at most. And yeah, it's very good. The plot of the game is you pick a ship and you're leaving kind of a controlled area. You're part of a federation and it's being overrun by a rebellion. So it's kind of like reverse Star Wars, where you're the Empire, but the Empire is good.
Right,
and the rebels are evil, but they're winning.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the goal is you have to get to your main base with information that will stop the war or win the war for you. And you travel through systems and there's randomly generated events.
But it's not like a big sort of 3D, you're flying around,
no.
that sort of stuff.
It's 2D.
It's
but
2D.
It's extremely addictive. It's very like that rogue game you're always going on about, and Dungeons of Dreadmore, where it's very easy to die, but it's fine because it's okay to restart.
Right, okay.
And it's random what events you come across as you take a certain route through the galaxy. And you have to balance always running from the rebel army that's kind of slowly creeping across the map after you, with visiting enough places that you get enough resources to upgrade your ship, upgrade your weapons.
Right.
Find more crew, train more crew. And you can do some like really interesting things, like say if your ship takes damage during a fight and a fire breaks out. Usually you have to send crew to go put it out, but if it's near an airlock, you just need to open the airlock and it will depressurize that area so the fire can spread.
Can you do it with people in it?
Yes, you can, yes. And if you upgrade your doors so it takes people who've teleported over longer to break through them, yeah, you can pretty much suffocate them to death. So it's interesting stuff like that. I've only managed to complete it on easy, and that was after playing it a lot and using the ship I earned, which I think is quite an easy one to start with. It's like it starts with a gun that randomly shuts down a enemy system for a few seconds, so it lets your guns get through.
Yeah.
So I would count that as kind of like easy.
So you're playing on super easy mode?
I would call it if you used it that ship.
You're playing on Can I Play Daddy mode?
Yes. And you unlock other ships from doing in-game achievements. So I've got quite a few unlocked now. They're all different layouts. So sometimes your bridge might be next to your engine room. Sometimes your weapons might be on the far end of the ship, so it's harder to get your people around. But like, say, one ship might not start with shields, but it'll start with a stealth.
I see.
One might start with one weapon, one might start with two, but it'll lose something somewhere.
So there's lots of sort of random customization involved, and
There is.
it adds to the strategy element.
And it is one of those extremely addictive games. So I'm very impressed. I remember reading how much the Kickstarter was, but I can't remember off the top of my head now. I think it might have been $500,000 or $250,000.
Doesn't like when I've looked at like videos of it, it doesn't look like it cost $500,000 to make.
That's what I'm going to say now. I didn't feel like it was a very expensive game to make. That doesn't mean it's a bad game, because I really like it and I highly recommend it. It just doesn't reflect the amount of money that seemed to be donated.
But this is the thing with Kickstarters, right? They set out an initial goal, right?
Yeah, and they can go over
if you go way over the goal, it doesn't mean you have to do anything other than what you've already promised. So if you've promised to make something that you only needed $10,000 for, and you get
given $100,000,
$100,000, you're like quids in profit. I mean, some of the incentives to get people to put more money in is, we give out free games copies, or we give out, you can come and have dinner with us, and that sort of random shit that you get with Kickstarters. But you can still just go, well, okay, it only costs $20,000. Now I've got $80,000 floating about to go and buy a sports car.
Well, I would hope they would put it into their next project.
That's not gonna happen. They just do it with
I would
Kickstarter.
hope so, but yeah. So yeah, as my first experience with a Kickstarter game, I'm impressed by it. I don't think it needed the money that was put into it. I do recommend it though, especially if you're one of those people who liked Bridge Commander or just like the idea of controlling a starship where it matters what your crew is doing. It matters that you've got shields and engines and enemies board you and things like that. Nerd, geek things.
Yeah.
If you're a nerd, you'll like it. Or if you do like Dungeons and Dread, more that kind of thing as well. As long as you don't mind it being sci-fi, of course. As opposed to old school RPG. We might as well move on to your list now, because I suspect the only things on your list are things we both played.
Probably
together.
not. Well,
no?
Well,
no?
There's one thing that I know that we haven't both played together that I think you mentioned a while back, but I started playing that Rebuild game on my phone.
On the phone, right.
Yeah.
So it's on Android phones as well now.
Yeah, you can buy it for like 25p. So
And how have you been finding that?
Fun. Different.
I think that's along the same kind of genre as Faster Than Light, really, where it's random things happen and you react to them.
I don't think that there's enough in it. But
No.
25p, you can't complain.
Yeah, it was very cheap. It wasn't that cheap on the Apple Store.
That's because you don't have to pay a stupid premium for
That's true.
Apple products.
There's a set price for apps. I think it's 69 pence or 74.
That's because Apple are cocks.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, playing that, it's interesting. I think it's more just like I've got a lot of zombie stuff going on at the moment, and with
especially with The Walking Dead and whatnot.
and so on. So yeah, it's been quite good fun.
Although saying that, you still haven't played episode 2 or 3.
I know I meant to pick those up. I still might.
No, you won't.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I mean, I wonder where the next episode is. In fact, because we're at the end of the month, they must have had to delay it because it would have been out by now. Unless it is out, and I've just been too busy with Borderlands.
That's but maybe
that I haven't noticed. So is that the only thing you have that I hadn't played?
Yeah,
recently?
most likely. Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so as I just mentioned, we've been playing Borderlands 2.
Borderlands 2?
Been doing some videos of it, although no one seems particularly interested because I think everybody's too busy playing it.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good. Go play it now.
It's funnier. It's funnier than the first one.
Oh yeah, the script writing's been a lot more improved.
I don't think they bothered too much with the constant, because there wasn't much story to the first one, so it was just occasional humour rather than.
Yeah, this time
where it feels like they try.
They fleshed out a proper sort of plot this time round.
Even just some of the silly quests, like the shoot me in the face one.
I mean, that's just like the most random thing ever.
Psycho just jumping up and down and saying, shoot me in the face, shoot me in the face. And when you shoot him in the face, the quest is over and you've done it.
It's definitely a marked improvement on the first Borderlands. I mean, the quests themselves, what you're actually involved in doing isn't that big a jump. It's more just the writing around them.
There's more story within each like busy quest as well.
Yeah, it's the zones, not too much different from the first one.
I don't like how much snow there is. I was hoping for a bigger variety than that. That's one complaint I would make.
I don't think that we've had that much snow.
Yeah, the first half of the game.
Maybe there's quite a bit of snow, sure, but anyway.
But anyway, you can think of
No, there's not tons. There's enough different environments.
It's possibly just because I've played as every class now, so I've seen the first few areas a lot.
That's why. I can't even remember the last time I saw the snow.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, we haven't seen it for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. You lie.
And the villain is both annoying and amusing as well.
It's one of the best characters ever made for a game, I reckon.
They've done a very good job at making you hate him, but at the same time, some of the things he says and does are funny.
I don't hate him. I think he's funny.
But he's annoying. No wonder you find him funny. Constantly talking.
He's talking to you with his mouth full of something, saying, these pretzels are rubbish.
And naming a horse after you, by which I mean he named his horse Butt Stallion.
Butt Stallion, the diamond horse.
Oh yeah, it's made of diamond.
It's made entirely out of diamonds.
So yeah, we've done some videos of that. I've got a few more to go up. not doing a full playthrough because as of Tuesday, we're going to be doing a full playthrough of Resident Evil 6, which is something else we've played because the demo was out. So I think we should treat each part of the demo separately, since each part of the demo is separate.
You want to treat it as 3 different games?
Well, I'll talk a bit more about that later on. So yeah. So you
I actually got into an argument with somebody about that recently.
Oh yeah, on your video. Yeah. What was the focus of their argument?
It's not Resident Evil, it's Call of Duty.
Well, I would agree for the middle bit.
So I went back and said, well, okay, but, from my perspective, I know not from yours, but, there's nothing wrong with Call of Duty. To which they came back saying, no, I like Call of Duty. So then I went back and said, well, what's the problem then? What the foo? But, apparently they like Call of Duty, but they
don't like Resident Evil Call of Duty.
Resident Evil Call of Duty, which, fair enough.
So the demo is in 3 parts: Leon's, Chrissy's, and Jake's, and we're talking about Chrissy's. We're starting in the middle.
We're going to start in the middle.
Yeah, let's be like that. Let's be those guys.
Doesn't that annoy you, though? Isn't that annoying?
We're starting in the middle. Yes, it doesn't.
Is it niggling the fuck out of you?
It is, yeah.
Good. So starting in the middle, Chris's playthrough, the demo.
It was very Call of Duty.
It was very action-packed.
It was the part I least enjoyed.
Gears of Duty, yeah, but...
Gears of Duty, evil resident Chris is a closet homosexual.
I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it either. I must admit, I didn't despise it. It isn't the kind of gameplay I would hope to find in a Resident Evil game, but I didn't hate it. It
isn't bad, but it was very reminiscent of like the latter part of Resident Evil 5 for me.
Yeah. When you're more fully armed towards the end of Resident Evil 5 and it's just kind of wave after wave of gun guys, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like that. It's ironic that Chris is given that type of section when Leon, who was introduced later than him, gets the more traditional style. Although I suppose you could argue Resident Evil 4 was still kind of similar to the old ones, so that's why Leon gets it. So now we're jumping back to the start, to Leon's bit, because that's the most impressive bit of the demo, anyway. Far more traditional, far less pew-pew, because enemies don't drop ammo when you kill them. You have to scrounge for what you can find.
It felt like you had to be a little bit more tactful when you're dealing with...
We actually ran out of ammo quite a few times in the demo, for a start. It had a bit more of a horror feel.
It did. But I suppose a lot of that comes down to it was darker, you've got less bullets, you're not firing an automatic machine gun, the music that's involved, everything gives the ambience that, when you're running about, you could trip over a corpse or something. And it's
even the plotting of the story, it wasn't a big giant mutants climbing over a building after us, it was zombies are pouring in the windows.
Yeah.
Which is more traditional. Yeah.
Some of the things that they've added are quite interesting. There's an awful lot of QuickTime events.
Yes, and they're kind of cutscene, QuickTime. I don't know what to call them. Cutscenes with QuickTime events in them, where one person might get to do something and then the other waits. Or in Leon's section, for example, you had a QuickTime event where you're kind of holding a door closed while I was supposed to be shooting zombies that were kind of keeping the door open. Although I didn't have any bullets at that point, so I was using a knife. But
that made things a little bit tricky. Or where you were driving the car and you were supposed to be looking around for the keys.
Yeah, you couldn't actually do anything during that point, which is a shame. It should give each player something to do, rather than take turns. Like
I was just sitting there picking my nose.
Now, or when you were in the car?
Both.
There is also the annoying scenario where if you do combinations where it's always a guy and a girl, or 2 out of 3 is guys and girls, someone doesn't want to be the girl. Really.
That's a bit sexist, but like I don't have a problem playing as the girl except for when you're playing as Sherry.
Okay, so it's just because it's Sherry.
Just because it's Sherry.
Is it because she's a bitch?
Yeah, because she's a dick.
Oh, alright, it's because she's a dick. That's even worse.
Yeah.
So that's the third section. The third section is Jake and Sherry, which is kind of in the middle between the two.
Weird, isn't it? It's almost like they went with one end of the spectrum, the other end of the spectrum, and they thought, I wonder what happens if we try to push these two things together. And that one felt the most like Gears of War. I don't want to keep harking back to Gears of War.
Enemies still drop ammo, but they mutate, so you need more ammo, and they're more dangerous when they mutate.
And you're not really shooting so many things that are shooting back. It's more...
It was a mixture. The mutated ones could kind of fire stuff at you, but other than that, they came at you with knives.
And it seemed like that mode was where you had to do a lot more splitting up. One person had to deal with one side of things, while the other one dealt with the other side, in order to let someone through a certain area and stuff. It was like the teamwork one.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about that one. So you've got the more stereotypical Resident Evil 4 style, then you've got the Resident Evil 5 with Call of Duty mixed in, and then you've got the teamworky mix of the two. It's hard to tell without playing the full game, obviously, yet, whether that'll be the case for the whole of each of the sections.
But playing the demo has confirmed that it will be a good game to play.
Yeah, I think although I would enjoy some parts of it more than others, I did enjoy all of it.
Yes, exactly. You're as a whole, you're not going to be disappointed.
No, but then
might end up.
I wasn't disappointed by 5 either, but a lot of people hated 5.
The story might end up completely fucking you over. You might really hate the story.
True.
But the gameplay so far, pretty good. After you kind of get to grips with the funky controls a little bit, I felt that they were
having a lot of extra things to do is a lot of extra things to learn. Like, you're used to just being able to like turn on the spot and shoot.
Yeah. But within like one playthrough of it, you're playing it like perfectly fine. You go back.
Even by the time we got to the third part of the demo, we were getting. Well, no, actually, no, you weren't, because you were drinking. You'd been drinking and you couldn't work out how to press Y while aiming.
I had steadily been drinking a few as we went through that playthrough. So by the last point, and I'm trying to change to a grenade launcher and back again, and you
didn't realise you had to aim first.
Yes. Well, but I must have pressed the button to do it in the first instance. So how I managed not to realise that to go back.
I didn't quite pick up on the point either that I was doing that at the same time, but then I learned later on, that Leon can dual wield if you do the same thing in his section. Yeah, I think we'll talk about Resident Evil 6 some more once we've played the full game, and that brings up the subject of a new type of video that we're considering doing.
Ooh.
Yes. Ooh. Alongside the playthrough of Resident Evil, we're kind of starting to think about some kind of unique video thing we can do, because as entertaining or not as a playthrough we're doing may or may not be, it doesn't matter if no one's watching it.
Exactly. So we need to give something to watch.
Yes.
A reason to watch it.
So I thought if we started to do videos where, kind of like a mini podcast, but it's a focus on one thing, and it would be a discussion about the good and bad points of a game. Sort of like a back and forth review where we're arguing or agreeing.
Banter review.
Yeah, banter review. Why not? Or a discussion. And it'd be open to anybody to agree and disagree in the comments. And I wouldn't block you if you disagree with me. As long as
behavior, that is.
As long as you stay within the confines of YouTube's rules, naturally. So
rather than saying, I hate you, you're Scottish, I hope you die in a wheelie bin.
Yeah, no racism is allowed on the comments. So I think the first game we'll try and do that with is Resident Evil, after we've played it through. And we'll instead of having like a blank screen or whatever, I'll put it to some of the gameplay from our playthrough, or some extra gameplay of maybe, say, the multiplayer mode, since we might cover that as well.
Yeah.
Just something that's in the background with a little bit of sound so that you can hear us talking. And yeah, so if you have any opinion on that prior to us getting started, or some suggestions,
any particular games that you might want us to think about covering in the near future, I think we should do Black Ops 2. I think that'd be funny.
How can I do that if I'm not going to play it? I would just have to sit here and assume that everything you're telling me is true. That dinosaur section was really well done.
You'd have to play it.
It was a bit hard to believe when the Russians came in riding some of them, but it just flowed so well.
Yeah.
Is it the Russians that are the baddies?
I like the bit with the Candyfloss and the cheerleaders. That was a good bit.
The Candyfloss cheerleader grenades were
awesome.
Is it the Russians that are the baddies in Black Ops 2? I was taking a wild stab in the dark. It's either them or the Germans.
It's not.
Or something from the south.
It's terrorists.
It's just terrorists.
It's just Johnny Terrorist. I think
what nationality are you? Terrorist.
That's his name, and his job, and his crime.
And his nationality, and his crime, and the reason America is going to shoot him.
This is just filling out a survey. Name, terrorist. Dress, terrorist. Occupation, terrorist.
You have to fill in that kind
Hobbies,
of form.
terrorist.
Just answer every question in that form as terrorist, and see how long it takes them to get you.
Oh, God.
That reminds me of something I wanted to bring up regarding a certain stereotype of Americans that I'm sure isn't true. about
I'm sure.
how intelligent the masses may be. I won't say individuals.
You're about to offend some people.
I'm going to offend whoever thought the Americans needed to be reminded of this. I was watching Shark Tank, which is the American version of Dragon's Den.
Right.
And at the start of it, it has a disclaimer. This disclaimer is there to remind the audience that they're watching a television program and that any of the offers they see being made within the program aren't actually being made at them.
What?
Would you like me to quote it?
As if people could go, well, that guy wants to try and sell me some sponge.
Yeah. In case they get confused and think the person in the television is making them an offer of some money. It says at the start, it makes it clear, hang on, where I've got a quote, no offer is being made to or solicited from the viewing audience. Jesus. It says that at the start of every program. And I thought I misread it, and I was watching a live stream of episodes, so I couldn't go back, but then I found it on YouTube and watched, and yeah, it says that. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you usually get the disclaimer saying, any deal made isn't necessarily confirmed until due diligence, that kind of thing. But no, they're just reminding the audience they're not spoken to by the people in the television.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. So, some stereotypes are true.
Yeah, I guess so.
If that person who... I want to know who is responsible for that.
Somebody somewhere must have made some sort of complaint.
Do you think maybe it was someone in the television network just taking the piss?
Could be. No. I don't believe that.
Because no one ever kind of reads those flash up things at the start and ends of reality programs.
You can write whatever you want.
In America also, most of the reality TV programs, this is another interesting one to watch out in the credits, there's a disclaimer saying that basically it's not reality television and most of the scenes are refilmed.
Yeah.
Which is a common knowledge one.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, this is about gaming, isn't it?
I think so.
We can talk about some more Wii U stuff, including that person we made angry from the last podcast.
Okay, we'll jump on to... We should be...
I've got a few Nintendo things, but...
Okay. Let's go on a little Nintendo rant there for a bit. So we've already covered off in the last podcast that neither of us are particularly keen on the Wii U. I do like the look of that Zombie U game, but I'm not going to buy a console for one game.
And despite last podcast also, I remember saying it at least twice, that we can't be sure of anything we're surmising about what we've seen so far about it being good or not. A fanboy decided to...
Not one of our fans.
No, not really. One of our fans. One of Nintendo's blindly loyal, potentially employed by individuals on YouTube, took it upon himself to point out how wrong we were and then contradicted himself by doing the same thing about the new 360. Or whatever.
No. He was talking about the current 360.
It's even worse.
About how buggy and stuff it is, yeah.
Whether or not the 360 is buggy or not has nothing to do with whether or not the Wii U will be good. And I am perfectly within my rights to judge whether or not I'm interested in something based on the marketing materials I'm provided with and the footage I'm provided with.
This is true.
And it doesn't interest me at all. But I do get the feeling this fanboy person who may or may have not been employed by Nintendo wasn't actually doing anything else other than reading what you called the last podcast, which was slightly inflammatory.
It was a play on words. We useless.
I agree.
Useless. It was a play.
It was a clever pun, but it got us in trouble with a fanboy.
I don't care. Fanboys can suck my dick. Or not. The choice is theirs. Or not.
That's an open invitation, apparently.
Come get some.
Right, so what other Nintendo stuff I had? I had a quote from Nintendo that about, how there's always new Mario games. Always. They see no danger in using Nintendo's IPs like Mario too much. The reason is that Miyamoto and the entire EAD development organization ensure that each edition must be unique, different as opposed to unique. Unique and different. Whatever, and offers something new.
Someone was smoking something crazy there.
And offers something new.
Jam! You must have lots of jam.
If anyone ever wondered what PR bullshit sounds like, I just quoted it. Doubly so because it had that oxymoron in it. But there you go. And, You know what was different about Super Mario 3D Land that was new, unique, different, and you knew, and all that stuff? They added the raccoon suit back in.
That's not
Is that all Nintendo thinks it takes?
Well, you know, the
buy it.
trend. I mean, Apple are doing exactly the same thing with the latest iPhone. Hey-oh!
Oh, stop being so sour that your company got sued.
My company? I don't work for Samsung.
You represent them by using their infringing phone.
Their better phone.
Nope.
Anyway, we shall agree to disagree.
No, we won't. No, we won't. No. So, yeah, if you like Nintendo and you like their churning out of Mario games, Zelda games and whatnot, that's your fault. You're fine with a raccoon suit being innovative enough.
If it came with one.
What, full-size one?
Yeah, like you could wear it.
Ugh.
Would you wear it? Would you wear one?
No, I would not wear one.
You'd just go to the shop.
Have we met?
Oh, that would be brilliant.
No, it wouldn't. Well, actually, it kind of would.
You'd get some
I had one other. I'm sure I had one other Nintendo thing. Oh yeah, we're not the only ones who were negative about the Wii U. But a far more reputable source than us, called the Sun newspaper, was also negative about it. For those that don't know, the Sun is about as far from a reputable newspaper as you can get.
It's the one that usually... It's like the tabloid version of Kotaku.
Yeah, or Fox News in America. We've said that before, I think.
So.
It's the kind of newspaper that likes to go on paedophile witch hunts and then on page 3 post topless pictures of someone who just turned 16 that day. That's the kind of paper it is.
Classy.
Yeah, about as classy as you can get.
Can I just say a really, really random aside here? Like, I was just going through a mortgage approval process recently, and one of the things that they have to know is what your job is, what your title is.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the
terrorist.
One of the options in there is actually page 3 model.
Well, they had a list of options.
Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of different options over there, and one of them is page 3 model.
Was YouTube whore one of them?
I didn't get to pick that. It's just
I hate having to describe that when I had to register for self-employment. Like, how the hell do you describe what I make videos on a website?
I'm an advertising slut.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to just go with monetized YouTube channel.
You should have gone with something like, I don't know, advertising executive or something. Something classy.
That would be a lie.
I make YouTube's videos.
I make videos on the YouTubes.
So, as we were saying.
Oh, yeah, you completely got me off track there with your damn mortgage. Yes. So, yeah, the Kotaku ran an article about a story in the news, in the Sun, and they referred to it as a reputable newspaper, which I found very amusing. But the article itself was a list of reasons why the Wii U was bad. Presumably, one of them was that it had pedophiles living in it. Another, that each game cartridge has...
Immigrants,
immigrants living in it. And that by owning one, your tax rate goes up.
Yeah. Could be worse. I mean, if it was in the mail, it would probably say the Wii U killed Diana or something like that.
Topical. Are they still going on about it?
Probably.
It's a running joke that the mail always goes on about what killed Diana. It's been 12 years, people.
Let it
or
die.
11, 12, whatever it was.
Longer than that. It's like 15 years now.
Ugh, it just feels less. If it has been that long, it's okay to make fun about it. Make fun of it, rather. Make fun about it. Do you have any Wii U or Nintendo related news?
Nothing specific to them, no.
Do you have any news about piles of shit that you could kind of segue in?
Yeah, sure, I do. It's looking like the Flood might be back in Halo 4, but maybe not necessarily in the campaign.
In the multiplayer?
In one of these
play as the infected
war room scenario things that are rumoured to be coming into it.
War room? I know absolutely nothing about Halo 4, so you'll need to tell me.
It's just like a sort of side mission sort of stuff.
Oh, like the what the mission's called in Modern Warfare.
That's going to annoy me now. Spec Ops.
Spec Ops, yeah, like those you mean.
I think so, but it's not been confirmed. Well, it might be by the time this goes up. Who knows?
So they're doing that kind of thing, and the Flood will be back just for that, not in the story?
I don't know. Do
you want me to spoil Halo 4, 5, and 6 for you? 1, 2, and 3 done by worse storytellers.
Just repeated, just the same thing again.
Yeah. Possibly with a spin-off game between each one.
Cynical.
It's going to be true.
Yeah.
Or rather, I'm going to be right. Shall we move on? Would you like to pick something? Okay.
You know, we've been talking about how Daisy looked really interesting and how you wished that it was going to get a standalone.
Oh, Daisy! I thought you said Daisy and you meant Daisy, a transvestite in Borderlands.
Transvestite cow, yep. Yes.
No, the transvestite person in Borderlands 2.
Daisy the zombie.
Daisy the zombie
is supposed to be getting a standalone version before the end of the year. So you won't have to pay for armor too, or whatever. What?
Is that being Kickstarter? I knew it had already gone standalone, or was going, because I brought that up in a podcast. Thank you for listening.
No, but you didn't. You didn't say when.
Okay, no, I didn't say when, but you made it sound like that's the first of us mentioning it.
No.
See,
I said that at the start of that you were talking about it. Now I'm telling you that it actually has a time frame.
So by the end of the year, so it's got 3 months.
Pretty much. According to their website, the average life expectancy of somebody playing Daisy is 1 hour and 8 minutes.
That's fairly long.
Yeah.
I hope they bring in more to do in the proper release of it, because that's what put me off bothering. There just wasn't enough to do other than get killed by other players, because if nothing else, it's a good example that deep down everyone are bastards.
Yeah, the human race are just a bunch of trolls, really.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people might band together, but it's just to kill other bands of people.
That's how we roll, bitches.
That is how we roll. Tokyo Game Show happened, by the way. Eurogamer happened as well.
Yeah.
But nothing really came out of it, did it? I certainly didn't get anything from it. It's all just footage of games that are coming.
Yeah, stuff that we saw at E3.
There was one reveal at Tokyo Game Show that I was interested, or didn't know about prior to CR pointing me to it, called Project X Zone, or Cross Zone, if you want to call it that. I'm not sure which way you would pronounce the big X.
Right, okay.
There was that trailer I think I linked you to as well, but I bet you didn't watch it either, did you?
I'm trying to remember. You link me lots of things.
I do link you lots of things.
I wake up in the morning, I turn the computer on, I load up MSN, and it's like 6 links for things from during the course of the night.
You're welcome. Okay, well, I'll tell you about it then. It's a turn-based game where characters move around a bit like Final Fantasy Tactics, kind of.
No, you didn't link me this.
Then the actual battles themselves are 2D, kind of almost beat-em-up-y. Possibly turn-based there as well. I'm not 100% sure because it was all in very complicated Japanese. But the point is, it's a game made by Capcom, Sega, Namco Bandai, and one other that I think I can't remember. The point is, it's got characters from tons of their franchises all together. So it's a bit like Jump Superstars for the DS that had all the Shonen Jump characters, Naruto, Dragon Ball, Bleach, that kind of thing, all in one, which was very fun. So I actually have high hopes for this. And the trailer, which was about 15 minutes long, it showed characters from Dead Rising, Resonance of Fate, Tekken, Resident Evil, Mega Man, Street Fighter, Tales of Vesperia, Valkyria Chronicles, Devil May Cry. They're kind of the ones I wrote down notes of as I was watching the trailer.
Sounds insane.
Yeah, so if you want to have weird mashups between characters from those games, might be the chance. So I'm paying attention to it. It's on 3DS, though. Yeah, you won't be getting it, but I will. So that's fine. So I might show you the 13 minutes or 14-minute trailer later.
Or not.
Or I'll probably forget, so no. I won't even pretend. I will forget. But it is something that looked stupid, but it looked like it'll be a lot of fun, and you can have like your dream teams of characters from so many different games.
Sometimes the most stupid concepts are the best. Sometimes stuff that sounds absolutely ridiculous is actually a lot of fun to play. I mean, Borderlands in particular. Borderlands, right, on paper, sounds ridiculous. It just sounds like, who'd want to play that? You know, what, they're just talking about billions of just different skinned guns, just generic shooter, there's nothing unique about it. But play it for 5 minutes and, you know, it's brilliant. It's a lot of fun.
I suppose so. That is a good example. What other example could I think of? Something weird. No, Pokemon might sound weird to someone who's never played one.
Pokemon might sound weird if you would try to explain the concept to your grandparents or something. Especially like my grandparents are, like, you know, probably a lot older than the average person listening's grandparents, let's say.
Why?
Because I'm probably older than the average person
you're
listening.
assuming most of the people listening are younger than you. Okay, that's probably true.
I'm assuming that. I'm regularly wrong, though. Prove me wrong.
That's also true. I have 3 things left in my note only, I'm afraid.
We've yet to whore things off.
Oh, God.
We should have a little whoring moment here, where we tell people that they can go and visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/BringoHurty, or the Steam group, which is also BringoHurty, or email us at bringohurty@gmail.com.
Or message me on Xbox Live saying that you want to play with me on
No
Borderlands, but you're no homo.
No homo. Or what else? YouTubes?
I must admit, like the person listening to this now, I wasn't really listening, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure which ones you have heard and which you haven't.
Oh dear.
Did
well,
you hear the email?
yes, we have. Let's jump on to something else, something different. You know that after being around for God knows how many years, I'm not even going to bother looking into exactly how many years Xbox Live has been going about.
Oh, a lot more then.
That they are now having achievements unlocking discounts on Xbox Live.
I did not know that. What games have that on it?
No. You don't understand. It's like by the amount of gamer score that you track.
Oh, your total
puts you into a bracket that unlocks certain things. So if you are between 3,000 and 9,999, basically up to 10,000, right? You're in the contender bracket. So you get a special gift. During your
Sylvester
birthday month.
Stallone going?
On your birthday month, you get Sylvester Stallone going. If you're between 10,000 and 25,000 gamer score, you're in the champion bracket. You get a special birthday gift during your birthday month.
And then you have to box him.
And 1% rebate on your Xbox Live Marketplace purchases every month.
1%?
Yes.
How long? Forever?
Just as far as I can tell.
If it's 1% forever, that's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah.
What is that? 10% of 1,000 points would be 100, so you're going 10 points back per 1,000 spent.
Yeah. Depends
better than nothing,
spend,
I guess.
Suppose. And if you get up to 25,000 plus,
which is I'm already in. Yes.
You're in the legend bracket.
I'm a legend.
I'm a legend.
I'm a legend.
Where you get your special birthday gift during your birthday month. And you get a 2% rebate on your Xbox Live purchase.
20 points per 1,000 spent in your face.
And it doesn't go up any higher than that, apparently.
So my 60-odd thousand total gamer score is pointless.
And
I could have just stopped at 25 or 20.
So to sign up for the offer, you just need to go into the Xbox Live reward scheme on your gold account and register for it.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to make a note of myself to do that now.
It qualifies things that you games on demand, arcade games, add-ons, avatar items.
So DLC counts as add-ons, that's fine.
Yeah. So there you
avatar
go.
Items, I could just waste it on that, I suppose. But I wonder what the special birthday gift, though, is.
Probably, it'll be like an avatar unlock or something like that. They'll give you...
I was thinking more like, say, a genetic? A generic?
We'll give you an extra arm. We'll turn your penis green.
I would settle for a code to use that takes away all the fucking adverts on it.
We'll grow a tail on your back.
Because I can't use Xbox, the GUI of it. I switch it on and I get the game loaded as quickly as possible. And if I have to find anything like when I was getting the Resident Evil 6 demo, I just get frustrated and I was going to say frustrated and pissed off, but that's like saying different and unique.
Remove your eyes and give you bad sonar vision. Just really stretching out that mistake that you made, that genetic thing. Just really stretching that joke to.
That's why I'm moving on
to the furthest I possibly could. So there's not a lot to it, but it's better than nothing, I suppose.
I said I was moving on.
Yep, moving on. I'll be quiet.
So I have a quote here from Obsidian, who are kickstarting a game called Project Eternity or Eternia? No, Eternity. It's
a real difficult time with words today.
No, I was reading my notes. That's what I was doing. I was reading while speaking, which is hard to.
I am reading from a card.
Are you? Anyway, the point is, they're making this game. Obsidian, a fairly okay company. I think they had their hand in Wet. Which sounds so weird to say if you don't know there was a game called Wet. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is, this is their quote. We were actually contacted by publishers over the last few months that wanted to use us to do a proper Kickstarter. They said, I said to them, so you want us to do a Kickstarter for using our name? We then get the Kickstarter money to make the game. You then publish the game for us, but then we don't get to keep the brand and we only get a portion of the profits. They replied with yes.
Okay.
That kind of like sums up how the whole developer-publisher relationship works and why people are doing Kickstarters. They don't get to have their own brand and they only get a very small portion of the product profits because the publisher gets it all. Which is why Kickstarters are so popular, even though they're fundamentally flawed. I found it interesting.
It's a difficult position, I suppose. I mean, publishers have basically been allowed to get to the position they have.
Yeah, they're
same with music companies as well. They've been allowed to do that for so long that they know no other way.
Yeah, so producers are allowed to ride the bands they own, just like publishers are allowed to ride developers. Exactly. You will do this. There will be dinosaurs in Black Ops 2.
There will be Candyfloss cheerleader grenades.
Candyfloss cheerleader grenades. How would those grenades function exactly? It's grenades.
I want to see. I really
purely of Candyfloss, but when thrown, explode into cheerleaders.
Oh god, that would.
You're calling this podcast?
Oh yes, I've written that down already.
Cheerleader grenades.
Yeah, I am. That's already going in.
That is fantastic. Did we get any emails?
We have one email.
Is that a serious email?
It is.
Let's go.
And it's not from Noodles.
Let's go.
From CR.
Oh.
He says, proper email. I already showed Blighty a video of Resident Evil 6 Agent Mode.
What's Agent Mode? I haven't heard of it.
Where players can play as the zombies in someone else's campaign. As long as the host has already played through the area before.
I didn't know it was during someone else's campaign, though.
The host will not know who the human-controlled zombies are. Essentially, it's Left 4 Dead versus mode mixed with Dark Souls Online. General thoughts on this mode. So it's basically allowing you to troll other people and they don't know it.
No, but how would you troll them as long as you don't get super powered up or anything? That actually sounds quite nice. That
it's a zombie where you can actually use your brain rather than just mindlessly going towards them. You could do something annoying.
Yeah. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
As long as they don't try and find ways to stay alive so that an area won't let you out of it. As long as you don't troll in that manner. But in theory, yeah. I mean, imagine if you got to control, I don't know, I doubt there's tyrants in it, but tyrant equivalent.
The video clips show you playing as, the slightly special infected ones that have been, warped and stuff, with the...
or mutated.
The mutated ones, yeah. It looks interesting.
But you have to have played through an area first. So in other words, through your first playthrough, you're not going to have this happen. So that's not so bad.
Yeah.
So you'll already be familiar with the game anyway.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that. I think that would be quite good.
It's just extra bang for your buck, I guess. It's something else that's in the game.
Do you know how it works, though? Say, can more than one person do this to another person?
I don't know.
Since two people can feasibly be playing as, say, Leon and Helena.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people can become enemies in their game? You don't know?
No, I don't know the answer to
That's a shame. And also, I want to know, once they die, do you just have a respawn timer? Do you instantly take control of something else? Or
I don't know.
You've got me interested.
I've tickled your anticipation boner.
Yeah, hurry up and finish that sentence before someone presses pause and uses it against you. Yeah, because Dark Souls didn't do that type of multiplayer right, because it gave too much power to the people invading to troll you. That's all it was. There was no upside, whereas it might be a bit more exciting, like Left 4 Dead's multiplayer. That doesn't feel like you're being trolled. That feels competitive, which is fine.
All I've got here is that the concept of not necessarily knowing which of the enemies you face are being driven by human adds even more tension to the experience. Best of all, Agent Hunt mode promises to be fairly simple and transparent, with hunters joining or dropping out of another player's game in a way that doesn't affect the overall flow of
hunters plural, so potentially.
Oh, yeah.
So they can just drop in and out as need be, yeah. Yeah, I'm interested. I think that might be quite fun. It also kind of makes me curious. Maybe we should just play it through quickly and then have a recorded playthrough where people can potentially be coming at us. I don't know. Do you get a message when someone comes in, or do you just... it's hard to say.
Yeah, well, we'll find out, I guess.
We will find out. I think maybe... No, I don't know. If anyone has an opinion on that for our playthrough, get it in quick, because... I mean, it's out on Tuesday, so we'll be starting soon.
Oh, shit, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, worldwide release for everybody this time, not just America.
Some people have got it already.
Ugh, that wouldn't surprise me. God damn,
no,
retailers.
some people have. It's not a...
I thought it was worldwide on the Tuesday.
Yeah, but because of the way people have had things delivered out, some people already have. Oh. Somebody you know has.
Seriously?
Yes.
Son of a bitch. Where did they order it from? Why didn't I order it from them?
I don't know.
Well, I just hope they get banned.
only if they fire it up now.
That's true.
So let's move on to something else.
Yes, let's, because I'm annoyed. The last thing on my notes for this podcast were a kind of semi-random thing. It was just about that game Slender and the various mods people have made for it.
And the mythology in general.
The mythology behind it, because I found it interesting, because I hadn't really heard of it other than one or two people had suggested it as a game I do for a solo playthrough type thing. It's a bit in keeping with Amnesia.
Yeah.
Ironically, once again, I struggled to remember the name of the game, Amnesia. So for those that don't know, it's a very simple funded game through the Something Awful website, I think it was funded through, where you're just trying to collect a certain number of things and then you escape, but you're constantly being stalked by the Slender Man, who if you look at for too long or if he catches you, you just die. And it's a very tense game. And people have made mods where it's just other stages, other scenarios. And it started on Something Awful's forums where people were kind of making up fake old-fashioned photographs with monsters in them.
Yeah.
Like the ye old Bigfoot ones. So there's a few examples on the Slender site. So if you just type Slender into Google, you'll find the official website. It shows some of the pictures where it's just like ye old English streets where they've put in this freaky, overly tall, slender figure in the background and made up stories about this. He kidnaps children and eats them.
Nice
thing, yeah. So the reason I wanted to bring it up is because I've said in quite a few podcasts that I don't like games that purport to be horror-based but just try and give you a fright. And Doom 3 is usually the example that I use.
Yeah. But it goes on the shock value thing.
Yes, but from what I've seen of Slender, it's not the same type. Yes, you'll get frights, but it's not always because of a cheap, he'll suddenly appear in front of you, because usually it's not that he's in front of you, it's that he's right behind you. So it's your own fault that you turn around and he's suddenly there. It's more that the reason it's scary is less because he's jumped out at you in front of you, as I just said. It's more that the tension has made you that jumpy, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. If it's made you a jumpy wreck that will leap out your seat at anything, then a cheap fright is okay, because it's made you do it.
What you're saying is that the makers of the PC chairs at IKEA are going to be quids in for people having to replace soiled seats.
Well, it is one of those, like I watched a few people playing some player-made stages in the original game as well. And even if you are just watching them play, the fact that it's all kind of deathly silent apart from various night noises, but then the second even if you don't quite spot them yourself, but if your mouse sees it, it's just there's a sudden burst of music and shock, and the screen will start to fizzle as you die, essentially. It didn't look like a game I'd enjoy, because it probably would make you jump. But I would be okay with it in terms of the type of fright it gives you.
It's the sort of thing I would love to see like a small child play.
That would be sadistic. Let's do it. Let's do that for Halloween. Let's convince a child to play Slender for Halloween. And then let's appeal to people for enough money to pay for the therapy he'll require afterwards.
Not going to happen.
Oh, and a thing to note, Slender, I don't know about any mods for it or anything, but Slender itself, totally free. Download it and play it. You can.
Yeah.
It's just utterly free. So that's another thing I wanted to bring up about it that I thought would be quite interesting. But yeah,
I quite like the weird sort of mythology behind like the Slender.
That's what got me as well. I liked actually how it just started with, let's make up some fake monster type screenshots. Just in itself is quite an amusing thing to do. But then that it spawned into a computer game that's actually good. I found that quite interesting. That's an innovative way to get to a game that people can play and enjoy. And if you don't want to play it, just look on YouTube, and there's tons and tons of videos of people playing it. Quite a few with reaction cams in the corner.
Always interesting. Always interesting.
Because as I say, I think half the reason you get such big frights is because of the tension it makes you feel. And that's a plus point. So yeah, that's my last set. I don't know if I'll have time to play it at all with Resident Evil 6 and whatnot, but in the future, maybe for Halloween, that's something we could consider for Halloween, come to think of it.
Could be fun.
It could be. Let us know.
Might be coming.
I think we might be ready to wrap this thing up.
Wrap this bitch up.
Fold it into a Candyfloss grenade and throw it.
I think so.
That sounds like the type of weapon that would be in Borderlands.
Oh, it does.
Candyfloss cheerleader grenade.
It really, really does.
We should pitch it to Gearbox. We never mentioned any of the references in Borderlands.
There's too many to go through.
I know, but it's just the fact there's so many, and
there's so many references to like, so many things that across. Like, I mean,
I'm pretty sure some of the music is Mass Effect and Gears of War parodies.
Inspired, yeah.
Well, the Gears of War would be fine because it's Gearbox, but
it's a good game. Let's go play some.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do now. So go away now.
So, yes, contact us. bringohurty@gmail.com.
That's right. You do the polite goodbye after I just told them to go away.
If you're watching this on YouTube, comment below. Facebook.com/bringohurty.
If you have any small children you wish to donate to force to play Slender, let us know.
Oh, yeah.
They may or may not be returned to you in the same condition as they were given. Please don't take this out of context.
Oh, God. You're not right in the head.
No, I am not. Oh, you like us chatting now when you do your damn fade-out music.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you should probably record some more music. You're going to need to record a new one for the intro to our discussion show.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Something a bit higher quality. Maybe.
Yeah, something good.